Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? Good evening. How are y'all doing? Good evening. Hi, everyone. If you're here, say hi in the comments, please. Good evening. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great today. Hi, Meg. Good evening. How are you? How's everyone doing today? Good evening, and welcome to our live session tonight. If you're here, please, hi. Please introduce yourself in the comments and we can get started for tonight. I hope you're all doing great. It was good to be here. So please type in the comments your name and where you're from. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. Hello. If you're on Facebook, in the Facebook group, or on Instagram, I welcome you tonight to our live session. Good evening. How are you doing? Hi, Tokpai from Minnesota. How are you? So, Tokpai, I see you both on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Hi, DBB Kenny. How are you? You have a lot of questions. Oh, yeah? You can schedule a session with me to talk to me. You have a 15-minute slot you can take advantage of. So let me know if you want that. You know what? DM me if you want the link so you can pick a time slot that works for you. But yeah, it's nice to connect. It's good to see you tonight. How are you doing? She has a lot of questions. She said, "Hey, okay. So talk about which are you watching? I see you on. I got a hang of things right now. Like I'm doing great. I'm seeing both folks, and that's really nice to know that no one is really left out because Instagram was being left out a lot. So how are you doing? Okay, it's good to be here. We're gonna get started with our agenda for tonight. And while we're getting started, please type in the comments again your name and where you're from, because sometimes your handle is not really your name. And it's harder to remember or even pronounce sometimes. So you have those nickname handles. But if you could please tell us what your name is and the state or city that you're connecting from. Okay, hey Talkback, I see that's cool. I feel like our Facebook group is more sacred, but it's all good. It's all good. Welcome, everyone. And it's nice to be here tonight. How are you all doing?
Hope you had a great day at work. If you had a time off today, I hope you had fun. If you're on holiday today, that's very nice. Good evening. So, tonight, our topic, I'm going to start to share a slide here, or it's a little bit of presentation. I don't like to say slides because, we're just having a chat, but I want us all to remember what we are talking about. It's very important to know. And if visualizing takes us closer to that, to being able to remember, memorize, or at least just have it pop, it goes a long way. And so, our topic for tonight is how to make max profits on a flip. So, don't lose money. You don't want to lose money. If you're here with me and you heard that, please type "don't lose money" in the comments. Don't lose money. Type "don't lose money" in the comments. Very important. We're in business not to lose money. We're in business to make money as much as possible. I know sometimes things can be a certain way, but overall, you're a winner if you're in business and you're doing it right. Right. But we have checks, we have balances, there are things we have to do in order to be on the safe side, right? So you're not just pouring more money and efforts and energy and time into a venture that's not going to reward you back. So nobody wants that. We don't want that. And that's why we have to talk about how to make things right, how to prepare, how to be sure that you've got it, rather than assuming that you know what you're doing and not doing it right. Okay, so let's get right into it. My name is Yinka Olumorin. I am a coach on this wonderful platform. Like I always say, acquire real estate in the group. It's a wonderful platform. On my IG profile, it is me, and you might not really know who I am or what I do, but I'm a coach on Acquire Real Estate platform. It's a platform for owning real estate investment and properties. Currently, we have over 200 members within our community, and our students do deals like fix and flips, they do rentals, they do Airbnb, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, Section 8, on a portfolio of properties, cash flowing on a monthly basis to give that monthly passive income where everybody wants to get to. A few of our students have been able to fire their jobs. A few, um, some have this. Actually, most have decided to hold on to their jobs for a good chunk time, so not ready to retire yet. But hey, not everybody gets to that point where you want to fire your job per se, because maybe you love your job, right? So not everyone is irritated or cranky. But yeah, what real estate investing does is give you options so you don't have to stay where you don't want to, or so you can comfortably choose a better pathway within your career as well. So it gives you that leeway where you're not anxious about what's going to happen. You're not positive. You know the best is yet to come because you're working on something that builds over time and gives you that compounding effects over time. You know it's your business. It's what is yours is yours. If you're working for somebody else right now, it's for somebody else. They can decide to do whatever they want, regardless of the field, whether IT or healthcare. And maybe you can find something else that makes sense for you, or maybe your employer can, or all your employers can somewhat operate the same way, which doesn't give you that much of a flexibility, especially with jobs that are like capped where you can keep going up. There's like a max spot you can be on the job. So real estate investing gives you option in life, a kind of option that you will always be grateful for, a kind of option that sometimes you had no clue existed, where you feel like you have to live a certain way, and then you suddenly start to realize it doesn't have to be that way. It's mind blowing, it's life changing when you start to see things from the other angle. So yeah, so that's what we do here on at Acquire Real Estate. We have a lot of wonderful people around. I have Meg Cohen, my assistant. She does a wonderful job, and she would be moderating in the comments. So if you have any questions, put those in the comments. And she's gonna also send you resources after this training. So hang on, That way, she can recognize you and send you whatever resources we have at the end of this training. So please keep introducing yourselves in the comments, where you're from, what you'd like to do. Just, network with us. And I'm going to go right into what we're doing tonight: how to make max profits on a flip. How to make max profits on a flip. Okay. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Okay. Just wanted to say hi back to whoever was saying hi to me. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Okay. So, how to make max profits on a flip. All right. So, number one, no fluff. We're going to go right into it. Okay. So, number one is your purchase price. How are you buying the property? You're not just looking for a property that has discounts, right? Discounts is very relative. If someone says, or let's say there was sales at Macy's, and they gave you, it's $76.99, 76.99 normally, and right now they're taking whatever amounts off, and it's now $30.99. So the question now is, how cheap is $30.99? It's cheap if the original price wasn't marked up, and you're paying maybe about the same amount as you would have paid without the sales, right? You just don't know. You don't even know if it's actually less expensive somewhere else. If you decide to go to maybe TJ Maxx or a different outlet that carries at a different price. So cheap is very relative. And in real estate investing, we don't want to make that mistake, because we're talking big numbers. We're talking large numbers. Whether this money is yours or it's from the lenders, it's still big numbers. And so we have to be careful to make sure we're buying at the right price, not just at a discount. So some people say things like, um, they took 25,000 off the property and I got it for 75,000 instead of 100,000, and that's a great deal. That's a great discount. Relative to what? How much are you going to make? So you're not just looking for a discount. You want the price to be low enough for the numbers to make sense. So if you don't know how to analyze a property, you have no business doing a flip. Okay, so you have to be able to know what the numbers are, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But one very important number you have to know is the maximum price that you can sell the property for. Okay, so the maximum price you can get for the property in the future. If you have no clue how much you're going to be able to resell that property for, then you should not be doing this flip. You're not going to make money. Very highly unlikely that you're going to make money, right? And we call that number the ARV right here. So your after repair value. And the way that we know your profit, if you've been here a little bit, you know that we use this formula a lot. And this actually should actually be your offer, your maximum allowable offer. So what your maximum allowable offer should be would be your the max amount. ARV stands for after repair value. So the max amounts that you should be buying the property for, minus your purchase price, added to repairs, added to other costs. And that would be actually what your profit looks like. Now, for your maximum allowable offer, and I was beginning to mix that up. So, your maximum allowable offer, all of you guys know, or if you don't know, let's know. Type in the comments if you need the MAO formula, and that just tells you how much you shouldn't go above, right? So, that's how much you should not go above. Now, if you want to know what you will be making on the flip or on the property, then this is a very good formula. This is actually a formula from me. I I have some of those proprietary formulas. If you find this elsewhere, it's probably from me. Uh, from putting a bunch of numbers together and seeing how things are looking from different perspectives, different price points, different repairs. So this is something that helps you to know what profit you're making. But if you wanted to know what your maximum allowable offer will be 70 percent of your ARV minus repairs. So that tells you what amount you should not go above. Again, if you need that, let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, put that in the comments. I'm operating under the assumption that a lot of you guys know this, but who knows, right? So if you need me to repeat anything, put that in the comments. But you have to know your numbers. Avoid emotional buying. You cannot go wrong with the maximum allowable offer formula if you're calculating 70% ARV or 75% ARV minus repairs. It tells you what your max offer should look like at any level, right? So that means you might have a lot of room when it comes to that. Anyways, you must know your numbers. That's what I'm saying. If you don't know how to put your numbers together, let me know. And there might be like another training that you can go through to kind of catch up on that. Okay. So you need your deal analyzer. You need to be able to estimate what your profits will be, even on a deeper level. Okay. So your price must make sense. Avoid emotional buying. Put your numbers together. If you're lost, ask for help. Number two, your repairs. How to make max profits on a flip. Your repairs must make sense. They must be broken down, right? So you want to break down your repairs. Why do you think that your repairs need to be broken down? What can happen if you don't break down your repairs? If, let's say you call the contractor into a property and they gave you a ballpark and you worked on that, what could happen? I'm going to see in the comments what you guys are saying. What could happen if you don't break down repairs? Hello. Hi, Toby. From Austin, how are you? Yes, we're here learning. What happens if you don't break down your repairs? What's likely going to happen? Who's here? Have an idea. Okay, sometimes the comments are delayed. I don't get them until maybe after a while, but I will come back to it if you're typing something. So if you just have ballpark and it doesn't tell you what each component is going to go for within the property, then definitely the contractor is going to come back and say that a couple of things were not included in your estimates. You're going to spend more money on that project and you're going to make less money as profits, right? So the repairs must be itemized, must be broken down for each component. It needs to make sense, okay? So you need to analyze correctly. The other thing with repairs is you need to have room. What we call contingency. Contingency says you're given, let's say your repairs is at $50,000 and you want to put a 10% contingency on there. 10% of $50,000 is 5,000. So you need to at least have 5,000 extra as contingency just in case, just for miscellaneous, and that puts you at 55,000, right? So you must have contingency. I will say minimum 10% if you have experience, and at least 20% if you don't have experience. If that's your first project, to avoid all this wonderful things from happening, you need at least 20% room. Okay, if that's your first project. So your repairs must be broken down and you must have a contingency. You hear about people losing money in real estate. Now, the reason we're here is so that you don't lose money in real estate, so that that's not your story. It's not a joke. It's not trial and error. Okay. Yes, we have successes. We've produced a lot of those and we continue to have success, but it's not without the work of putting your numbers together and analyzing deals the way that you should. It's not a hard thing to learn. You just need to dedicate and learn. You do what you got to do. Just the same way you get oriented at work is the same way you get oriented in real estate investing and learn whatever formulas you need to learn. It's not as hard as school math, or it's not advanced math or statistics. It's just really common sense for business, right? You know how to add things together. You know how to punch in numbers into a calculator to see what makes sense for your business to make profits. And that's what we're doing here. Okay. So you need that contingency, you need extra room so that you can make a good chunk profits on your deal. Because sometimes people come from wherever they're coming from into coaching and they're like, I did a bad deal. Or they talk about bad deal and it's from, previously where they were not looking at numbers the way that they should. Maybe somebody held your hands and said, let's do this together. I have experience, I've done this and all that, and then it just didn't work out the way that you guys expected. At least from here, actually, you can start to see why that could have been. Okay, so you need your contingency. The other thing you need to do is to properly vet your contractors. Okay, there are a lot of contractor issues right now. Like people have issues with contractors whenever someone's trying to get into real estate investing. One thing they always talk about is how about contractors? One reservation, one fear is always about contractors. How about contractors? Contracted this, contracted that. In order not to get that hit, you need to be able to vet your contractors. So another resource for tonight. If you need to know how to get the resource on vetting contractors, please type vets in the comments and Meg is going to send that over to you. So in the comment, please type vets in the comments so Meg can send you the contractor vetting resource. Okay. So type vets in the comments. And if you don't get any of your resources for any reason, you want to message me or Meg and we'll send that over to you. But you got to type in the comments and not wait till after the live session. So type vets and that way you get it once and for all. Okay. All right. So you got to learn to vet your contractor. Okay. So very important. And then the other thing you want to do in order to make max profits on a flip is don't over renovate. This is really important. Don't over renovate. You're doing unnecessary things to a house, right? You're going for higher end materials rather than contractor grade materials. You're going for a high end kitchen in an average location. You're wasting the money. The property is not going to appraise for higher than whatever the comps are in that area, which means whatever the comparable properties are in that area. Highly unlikely that you're going to get a pass mark for that, because the way that they evaluate your property is by comparing other properties to yours. If other properties have nothing like what you're doing and you're just going crazy and adding things, it'll be out of your pocket. It'll be at a loss. So you don't add things and hope that your property will sell for higher than the other properties in the neighborhood. Okay, that's not a realistic expectation. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. If you only had $10,000 to improve a property, where would you spend it? If you only had 10,000, if you only had $10,000 to improve a property, where would you spend it? Because we're saying don't over renovate, right? If you had to pick and choose, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna choose some preferred areas of the property and I'm gonna take it easy on some. So have some kind of guidelines on where to spend your money. If you only had 10K to improve a property, where would you spend it? That means what is that one upgrade you always think would be worth it? What is that one upgrade you always think will be worth the investment in a flip? Please type that in the comments. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Are you thinking the living room? Are you thinking the backyard? What are you guys thinking right now? Send DM later, yes. What are you guys thinking? Someone said painting. Okay, that's a good try, Jennifer. I like it. I think it makes sense. Yes, so somebody else says, Adipawale says kitchen or bathroom. Are you asking or you're telling us? Kitchen or bathroom? Where would you put that money? 10K. Okay, I like the responses so far, and it makes sense. Living room. Someone says living room. Hmm. Someone Instagram says living room and kitchen. Cool. That's cool. Okay. So if you who makes the home buying decision? I'm just okay, let's just be random right now. If you had a couple, let's say a married couple, right? And they wanted to buy a house, who do you think makes the buying decision? The guy or the girl? Someone says basements. Okay, good inputs. I like that. Who makes the buying decision? The girl or the guy? The lady or the gentleman? The man or the woman? Who makes the buying decision? Who makes the buying decision? Aladapa says, Ola, hi. Says the girl. Woman. Okay. Jennifer says woman. The lady. Okay. Okay, cool. Everybody agrees. Okay, so where do you think they'll be looking at the most? And that's a gross assumption, really, because I know things are changing these days, and people can put forth an argument and say everybody does this, everybody does that. I get it, but still very realistic. Someone says wife, lol. Yes, that's actually true, right? We always have our way. Exactly. So I'm saying kitchen, kitchen. That is true. Wife, woman, yes. So we're all glued to the kitchen. And you can see how like all the influencers are renovating their kitchens and we're like, I gotta do one too. So yes, we are responsible for the buying decision. Even if the bathroom is like spectacular and the kitchen is bad, the woman wouldn't go for it. The guy might. But the woman won't go for it. And the kitchen is one of the most, if not the most expensive aspects or the area of the house. So definitely want to spend that money in the kitchen. But I also agree with painting because painting is one of the small things you can do to dramatically improve a property. So I agree. There is a resource actually after this also. It's the upgrade resource where it tells you where to really put your money and what kind of return on investments you're going to get if you put efforts or if you remodeled a certain aspect of the property and what to expect. So wait for that so you can get that resource as well. Since I call it the upgrade resource or upgrade versus ROI or return on investment you get by upgrading certain areas of the house. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna go to number three, how to make max profits on a flip. Okay, so timelines are very important. Again, you snooze, you lose, right? Timeline. You gotta be on time on this project. Why do you guys think you gotta be on time on your projects? On a flip, for instance, what are the issues we're facing or you're likely gonna face if you're not on time? What are the costs involved with timing on projects? Okay, type those in the comments while I do what I have. I know you might have other opinions too, so I want to hear them. But one of those things you're paying for is your holding cost. And what is a holding cost? You're paying your lights bill, you're paying for snow removal, you're paying for gas or heating. Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer says holding cost, and that is accurate. Just as I have it, you're paying to keep the property alive, right? You're paying taxes, insurance, a mortgage, right? You're also paying interests, financing costs, right? You're looking to make max profit on a flip, your timeline is very important. The longer you hold that property, the less money you make. The longer you hold a property, the less money you make. Okay? Also, for timelines, you want to make sure you have the right contracts with timelines. Of course, with your contractor, right? So if your contractor is taking all the time in the world, does anything on your contracts cover you and helps you to fire them? Are you using are you making sure that you're not paying them beyond what you should be paying them so that when you need to fire them you can safely do so because your contract says that? Is there a penalty for being late on the projects? Is there a contractor penalty? Right? So these are things that address the timeline issues. How you want to make more money, max profits on a flip. These are very important. So you need the right contracts with the right timelines. Okay. And again, like we said, speed is profits. Speed is profits. If your project timeline goes 2 months over schedule, how much do you think it will eat into your profits? Let's take some wild guesses. Let's use a property price point of $300,000 to sell. You want to sell this property for $300,000. What do you think an average it could cost you on average to in holding costs for 2 months or per month? What do you think per month on a 300K property? What's holding cost like? How much might you be bleeding on a monthly basis? What would 2 months look like? Who says 1,000? What do you guys think? What's holding cost looking like? Jennifer says 2,000. Would that be on for 1 month or 2 months? Or the whole 2 months or just 1 month? What are you guys thinking? 300K to sell. You're gonna pay your holding costs. You're gonna pay your financing costs. Any other inputs? 1 month. Okay, for 1 month, 2,000. I think so. I mean, I think maybe 2,500. You might be losing around 5,000 for that 2 months period, right? So that means each day, if it's 5,000 a month, how much are you losing every single day you're behind, right? So you can calculate that and you're going to see that your speed is profits. So in the beginning, you're organizing your project in such a way that things are done in a time sensitive manner. Okay. The other thing that's very important, just as important as the timelines, is the flow. You gotta follow the flow. Follow the flow. What do I mean by that? There's a certain way that your projects should go. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. There is an arrangement, right? So you gotta go in order. For example, you got to do your rough first. You got to demo first. You do your rough, which means you got to do your plumbing and electric, put those in the walls before you cover up the walls, before you paint. So you're asking, should I paint first? Should I do flooring first? So which one comes first, guys? Do you think painting comes first or flooring comes first? Painting or flooring? What do you think you should do first? Should you paint the property first or should you do the flooring first? Which one comes first? Painting? Flooring? What do you think? I wish there wasn't as much of a delay. I see a response. It says painting. Jennifer. Okay. Thank you for that input. Does anyone else think painting or flooring? Which one should come first? So what's the danger of painting before flooring? Or doing flooring before painting? And I agree with you, Jennifer. If you want to put the reason in the comments, you can put that. You want to paint first, right? I mean, besides the fact that your paints will drip on the flooring, some people can still cover the flooring. But in a flip for the interior, you definitely want to try and do the flooring finally, right? As one of the last things because of traffic. You know, if it's a brand new flooring, Okay, I see two responses on Instagram that said flooring. So the reason why we're gonna do painting first is, besides the drip, it kind of helps where you're not covering the whole entire floor and trying to prep and all that. But also the traffic, like people moving in and out of the property. So you want to save flooring for the last thing. Driveway as well is also one of the last things you do on the exterior. The same reason, traffic. Once you're done with everything, people in on the inside are done. You wanna do the driveway. Guess what? If you reverse the order, you might have to sand and refinish your flooring again. That's more money, right? You might have to need to clean out painting that's deep in there. That's more money. That's more mess, right? Which also reduces the value of your project. And so now you gotta refinish the floor. um the same with driveway. If it's not properly dried and you have caterpillars and bobcats coming into the property, on the property, through the driveway, maybe the driveway is only 2 weeks old, you're already reducing the lifespan of the driveway, and you might actually have marks on the driveway. So not a great idea. A lot of these things you now have to redo. If you're covering the walls too early, you have to break the walls again, especially if you covered the walls before your inspection. There are timelines when your inspector should come and all that, and those are things you learn. Right. So if you reverse the order, you're going to spend more money, you're going to waste more time, and you're going to make less money. Okay. How about the roof? That, I guess that's a trick question. Do you think the roof should come at the end of the project or towards the beginning? What do you guys think? I'm curious actually. Do you think your roof should be towards the end or towards the beginning of the project? What do you think? Roof towards the end or towards the beginning? You think the roof should come later? Jennifer says roof first. Oh, cool. Jennifer, thanks for participating a lot. That's good. Thank you. Uh, Roof first, she said. Okay. I like that. I wonder if you have a reason. Type that in the comments if you have a reason. I would say either, right? It it's fine to do it first, but it's also fine to do it last. It doesn't really matter. Actually, most times your roof can go independently of what's going on inside. You would probably think roof later because it kind of covers everything, but you can do it first and you can do it later. So those are things you need to understand. Why wait till later if you can do it while other things are happening? That'll also save you time and that'll also save you money, and you're going to make more money in the process. Okay, to protect the job. I see what you're saying. Yes, that's a possibility. Well, I'll say maybe roof before landscaping, right? So you're not throwing things on landscaping that's already done, or greens that are usually pick up that whole trash. But yes, I'll say do that before landscaping, and of course before you take out your dumpster, right? Anyways, so yes, good inputs with that one. Okay, cool. All right, so another thing you need to know about making max profit on a flip is to list the property right. When you're putting the property on the market, what kind of price are you listing your property at? Right? What kind of price? You have to price it right. Price the property right. It's called strategic pricing. If you're overpricing, your property is going to stay too long on the market. It's going to be stale. And with stale listing, price drops, people start to think maybe something's wrong with the property. You start to get lower offers, which is a low ball. So you got to be careful. That pricing situation is very sensitive. If you are slightly below market value, let's say you're slightly underpriced, that is a great thing actually, because it can create bidding wars. So you're under the market value, people are like, wow, this nice property looks so cheap. This looks like a bargain. I'm gonna go for it. And then you have more than one bid, right? And I just put a screenshot of a property, sample property here that we did once. Usually in real life examples, like we've had between ranging from 30K to 60K above asking, or 60 plus K above asking, right? because of the strategy. The strategy works a lot of times because there's no way you can list a good property at a good price that it wouldn't sell. Right? So sometimes what's tricky is the price right. So you got to make sure that you're really trying to list below market value so that you sell quickly. Trust me, if you're listing below market value and you're thinking you're listing below 10K, you're losing some 10K, you know what? The truth is, if it sells at that below market value, that means it probably would have dropped to that value anyways, eventually, right? It probably would have dropped to that exact price. So it wins all the time. But rather than it dropping eventually after a month or two, where you have to, you know, now start dropping the price from going higher, you're saving time by going off the markets earlier by listing low. So listing low, in my opinion, always wins. Okay. Because pricing is based on market demand. If they don't want it, then they don't want it. If they want it, then they want it. Then many people want it. Then they're bidding higher than asking. For example, this property right here was listed at 269,000. Um, and it ended up selling for 300,000, went under contracts in about 2 weeks, and ended up, and that's because we had a bunch of offers that we were waiting. Give me 3 days to bring my offer in, give me this, give me that, and by the time we put everything together, ended up going for the offer that made sense, and had to say, hey, everybody bring in your offer by the end of business day on X day, and then you get more offers, right? So you're able to choose the best offers, and this offer actually had no inspection on it, so it was good through and through. They just were wanted to go ahead and close. So this strategy works a whole lot of times. I could attach a good chunk of screenshots to you guys to see that listing slightly below market value wins all the time. So definitely keep that in mind as far as pricing goes. Okay, do you get it? If you're with me, type get it in the comments. Let me hear from you guys. Type get it. Get it. Get it. Do you got it? Do you understand? Please type get it in the comments or got it in the comments as we proceed. Okay. One very important thing I want you guys to know about making the max profit that you can on a flip is this staging. I know sometimes you feel like it's controversial, like I don't know, that property sold for um for X amount. My properties like that property sold for X amounts without staging, right? Could it possibly sell for more without staging? With staging rather. Yes. Usually staging is a big ROI endeavor. Staging is a big ROI. It gives you a lot of return on your investment. Because what? Have you ever come across a situation when you think a room is too small, but it ends up swallowing like a queen or a king size bed conveniently? Exactly. So when your buyers are looking at a property, they have a hard time knowing if this is even a good size. I don't know if my bed is going to fit. I don't know if my TV is going to sit here. I don't know what my furniture arrangement might look like. This is awkward. I don't know how the space is organized. I'm confused whether the space will work for me. So when you stage your property, you're helping your buyers visualize how it's going to look like after it's done. Okay. So the staging is very important. Yes, it costs a few thousands, maybe 3,000, depending on the size of the property, right? But you'd rather stage than start to drop your property price by $10,000 each time. And if you were to create a bidding war, for every bidding war we've gotten, the properties were staged. So why would I settle, right? So definitely pay that amount and make more money. So it does help a lot. The other thing is professional photography, and discuss what, depending on the property or the area, between $100 to $400. It costs nothing, in my opinion, because you know if people are not seeing your property very well on the internet, they have a hard time. If you just took like some iPhone pictures, or maybe it's not even, maybe some Nokia pictures or Motorola pictures, because these days iPhone pictures are great, right? But not still professional enough. And you just upload that picture that's looking upside down or side left, and it's not putting things in the right perspective. It's kind of hard to want to see the property. It's harder to want to see the property if you're not doing that, if you're not using professional. But if you see a nice professional photo that makes the house look like it's almost a magazine property, everybody's curious. I want to go there. If that's their specification, maybe 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms is what they're looking for. I want to check out this house. So you're getting more traffic by putting professional photographies up, right? Which is an incredibly high, in fact, the highest ROI you can ever think of as far as getting maximizing your profits on a flip. So very important to do that. The other thing right here is advertising, and the question about advertising, because we're all listing on the market for the most part. Sometimes somebody comes off market and says, I want to buy your property. They talk to you directly, but most times it will likely be through a realtor, because the realtors probably have about 90% the pool of buyers. So it does make sense, logical sense, to list with a realtor, to sell a property with a realtor versus trying to sell it on your own, right? So with the realtors though, you gotta be careful as well to make sure you're using the right realtor. Hi Osaratin, thanks for that. Yeah, so would would you just let your property, after working so hard on a property and you've gotten all set and you want to list, would you just give it to anybody? Because realtors are different. Some people are novices or and have not enough experience. Some have experience, but they're not doing things the right way, right? And so it is with many professions. So it's not just realtors, but generally speaking. So you got to ask them, what are you doing to sell this property? Are you doing open houses? Are you doing word of mouth? How eager is this person? Are they willing to hustle for your property to sell? Because guess what? If you're earning how much in commissions, sometimes with a 1 point something million property that we sell, like our realtors are making a whole lot of money, right? A whole lot, up to 6% in some cases, 6% of $2 million, right? So what are you doing to sell I put the numbers together. I did the deal. I took on the risk. I made sure everything was going in order. My flow was great. I knew what had to happen before what. And so you are coming to sell. You bet you're not just gonna be listing this property and going to relax and while you make maybe a lot more money than me. And trust me, I'm not beefing. I'm just telling you what's factual. If you're a realtor here, this is what's going on in the mind of a real estate investor. They put in a lot of time, effort, energy, and sacrifice into getting a property ready to flip. So if you're a realtor, what are you doing to market the property to make sure it's selling? Because either way, you're going to make profits. But the person who's taking on the risk, depending on their numbers, they might not be making a lot, right? So make sure you understand what your realtor is doing. Are they doing open houses? Are they talking to people? Are they maybe sharing flyers in certain schools and to parents? Or what are they doing? Do they even have potential buyers? Do they have a buyers list? Do they have a buyers pool? These are very important things for you to know. Okay. Okay. Now, one thing before we go into your resources for tonight is to know that you don't want to take a loss. Okay. You want to have an exit strategy. You don't want to take a loss. Okay. You want to have an exit strategy. Even before you buy, you want to have multiple options. If this property doesn't sell as a flip, what else can I do with it? If you only have one option, then your numbers have to be extremely conservative. Extremely conservative. You got to plan to sell low, and you'd rather be surprised that, oh yeah, it sold a lot higher than I thought, than for you to assume it's going to sell at the max price, right? So if you don't have, and that's very common to not have an exit strategy for higher price points properties, you just have to sell what you have to sell because they probably won't work as rentals. They probably might not meet some criteria. So you want to make sure that you're covering yourself by having exit strategies. Definitely more ideal to have uh, a, a worst case scenario plan, which can be many different options. And that helps take away the pressure. Because I know some people are afraid of real estate investing because they're thinking about the risks, or what if this happens? What if I'm not able to sell the house? What if I make mistakes? And they never start anything, they never do anything, they never try anything, they never even try to put numbers together to see what's making sense. If that's your problem, why are you not putting numbers together and making sure whatever you want to do is selling at the lowest value ever? Right? That's the least you can do for yourself, rather than just saying no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that helps to take the pressure away. Right, now onto our resources for tonight. Please type resource in the comments if you want smart renovations that give you maximum return on investment on upgrades. So type resource into the comments if you want to have the list, or actually the order, and what kind of return on investment it gives you percentage wise when you do certain upgrades, what to expect. So type resource in the comments if you want that resource. And also, if you want to go into coaching and you want to get started and doing your first property, you want to type coaching in the comments. The coaching program is for you if you're looking to buy properties, you're looking to sell, you're looking to, maybe you don't want to buy and sell, but you want to buy and hold, you want to have a couple of properties that give you monthly passive income. So we cover things like wholesaling, fix and flips. If you wanted to do construction, new construction down the line, you want to do rentals, and if you want to do things like Airbnb, Section 8, midterm rentals, Airbnb short-term rentals, those are the kind of things we do. Okay, so mainly focusing on residential, so 1 to 4 units is really where our niche is. Residential, single family property, duplex, triplexes, and fourplexes, right? So the residential niche, and we're very newbie oriented because residential is easier to get into for the most part than commercial, right? So some of you guys are thinking apartment complexes and all that stuff. Good. If you want to do syndications, go ahead and do syndications. But if you want to start with what you have, when you're thinking no money down or no money out of pocket, it's easier to do that with single families or um, 1 to 4 units than it is to do with 5 units and up, which are considered commercial. And the analyzing is very easier. It's a lot easier to get started with, a lot easier than commercial. So those are some of the differences. Before you start to talk about cap rates and all that stuff, you want to learn how to analyze ARV and repairs and all that. So you have a softer landing with that, with residential. And so I'm an advocate for residential. You can also achieve your cash flow goal a lot easier in residential. I said so. Because yeah, if you had a 10K monthly plan like I have in that training for the year, if you can put in the hustle, you would be at 10K, right? But in an apartment complex, to make 10K monthly, gotta really be a deal that has a lot of equity in it, and usually they don't get sold with that kind of equity. So you can exponentially increase your cash flow with residential than on a per unit basis than commercial. So that's my thought. Yeah, well, it's newbie oriented, so it's gonna be easy to understand the material. You're gonna know how to analyze and choose a property by the third week. By the sixth week, you're gonna be able to secure a rental deal or a flip or whatever deal you want to secure at that point. You set up your LLC. Very important to do things the right way. Anyways, type coaching in the comments. Also set up your business credits. And you're typically, if you have good credit, 700 plus, maybe you can even raise up to 100K. I've seen some of our coaching students raise 200K and more, but with like 800 credit and whatever. If you're lucky to have that, good. You just don't want to watch your credits and not use it to make money. Don't be just happy having a good credit. It's remarkable. And you're broke. So stop that. So you want to use your credit to leverage on business credit funding so you have down payments and you can do no money down real estate investing. So you don't have to have money in savings to be able to do real estate or buy properties. Within our program, we have affiliate lenders also. We have lenders on ground, they fund our students' deals, and we keep growing our list. We just recently added a lender that can fund a purchase at up to 100%. So that means 100% purchase, 100% rehab. And there's some criteria to meet, but there is a lender that would do 100%, which means you're not bringing money to the table. However, of course, there would be some criteria that you can go through. But imagine not some, and one of the criteria is really experience. So imagine that you had to do something for the first and the second one, and maybe you leveraged other resources for the down payment. That's not your savings, your own money. And then going forward, you start to use this lender who would cover you at 100%. It means that you're not limited in how many deals you can do a year based on funding. So funding is not your problem really. You got to understand, knowing what you're doing is the problem. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't do it. Don't touch anything. Don't do anything. If you don't know what you're doing, it's taking a big risk. So don't do that. So, but we have lenders on ground. We also have a deal flow that our Meg works on also to put deals in there that's 40 estimated pre-analyzer $40,000 and up, and we've made the criteria to meet those requirements for those deals actually stricter so that it's working right. So we have our deal flow portal, which is a portal that our students go onto if they're signed up, where they get deals that are already estimated to generate $40,000 in profit and up. So it really cuts down the work for you, where you're seeing results more quickly. And yes, so type coach in the comments, but let me also set expectations. There's work to do. Contribute your quota to your business and you'll be okay. We're here to help your efforts yield results. If you don't have efforts, there's no results for you. So you got to put in the efforts, but you get all the help you need, the kind of results, to be able to get those kind of results that you would be proud of. Okay. You also get direct guidance on projects like flips, like everything we went through. I mean, it's hard to go into details on each component, like vetting your contractors, what components your contractor documents should have to cover you, right? What kind of contracts should you have? Everything is a lot. Our students have so many resources, so many. And if I give you half of what they have right now, you're going to run away. But it's in stepwise fashion. So you have what to do day one, day two, day three. But good thing is you have those resources, you have them. When you need them, you pull them and you use them on your deals. And you also have that one-on-one help as well and the right guidance. So yes, type coach in the comments. I just had to go into that. And also it's lifetime membership. You don't get kicked out. We don't kick people out of our coaching. Isn't that amazing? But we have limited availability. So we're not always accepting. So for now, there's some spots on the calendar. So type coaching in the comments. If you want to say hi to everybody here, please say hi. I'm just gonna look in the comments and say hi to you guys. And that will be a good night's kind of hi. Hi Stella. Hi Kemi. Hi Quinn. Hi Sylvia. Sylvia. Hi. I spoke with you. I spoke with you recently. Hi Shami. Okay, Sylvia says the game changer investor. You're eloquent and articulate, intelligent, beauty and brains. Just me, the go-to leader. Oh my goodness, Sylvia. Like my head is exploding. Thank you so much. All right, thank you everyone. That's my Facebook group. And someone says send your DM. Okay, that's Meg. Meg is on there on Instagram as well. Okay, copy this. Got this. I'll send you a DM later. Okay, so that's Meg replying. Resource done. Marco, hi everyone. Hello. Hello, Toyin. Hello. Hello, Kemi. Hello, Shami. All right, thank you everyone for being here. It was nice being here. Good night, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.